all right, whatever. Now we're even.
Hey, you
know what, man? You know, I'm like hella self-conscious.
Come out with what's my motherfucking name?
All right, well, let's see how this looks, man. Since Ty has an issue with my forehead being on shine, yeah, I mean, let's see. All right, let me see how it comes across. Hold on, this how I used to rock the bandana back in the day. Anyway, you know what I'm saying?
It's murder.
Yeah. Hey, I'm in full disagreement. Don't you block your forehead shine for no fucking
God, did we just see Ashanti in the background?
Zoom man, you said let it shine, let it shine.
Bro, you was rocking full Watcher vibes, bro.
He's going to Watcher. I love it.
All right, full watching it. All right. So I should go ahead and let this forehead of mine. I'm going.
You should. You really should, sir. Living your truth.
All right. Well, listen. Let's go ahead and go back to the screen. All right. Good morning, everybody. For those of y'all watching, man, this is the new Blerd Order reporting live from Cartagena, Colombia, and of course in the building, we got all of our blurs. Let's go ahead and talk some Blerd shit already because it's plenty to discuss. Let's not waste any time. Let's do it. What's that? New graphic? You're darn right, because we doing big things over here, so we're done, man. We are live this weekend with ComicCon. Thanks to our buddies over at the Comedy Hub. Shout out to Annie and Jay for giving us the plug. And of course, we are here with our favorite blurs, the main cast, our queen in the building, La Reina. ¿Cómo está usted, Yasmin? You all right over there? Or are you throwing up out of every orifice? What's going on?
I'm all right. For those wondering why he's asking me, went out with the famine, got some food poisoning last night, so bear with Yaz today.
Hey, food poisoning is not like an item on your grocery list. It's just like, and grab some food poisoning and along with some toilet paper and all that. All right, well, anyway, Tyrone is in the building, our positive Blerd. What's going on, man?
Everything's great.
Enough said. Stay less. Right.
Oh my God.
And of course, Bad Ties in the building. What's going on, fam?
Yo, for this show and this show only, I want to be addressed by my Christian name, a pimp called Slipback. I just want to be called by that.
Christian name. All right. So
you need to change your name then.
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, well, shoot, you may as well, bro. You got the hair slick back this morning, so I guess it makes sense. And of course, our resident guest nerd, man, our boy Zoom Missler in the business. What's going on, man?
What's good, bro? Ain't nothing. You know, I'm out here trying to get that wing stop, thigh stop endorsement. You know, I'm trying to get endorsed. I got the Rick Ross beard going. I need to sell the chicken.
All right,
Thigh stop.
Whoa. Ross over here, no say.
Oh my God.
Well, yo, it's a beautiful day. As you can see, man. Just a quick heads up. If my internet goes in and out, it's because I have to pay for it in pesos. Right now, I'm out here in Colombia, where it's pretty cool. I mean, the sun just came out. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? Get your little feels, get your feels. Bringing Nerdville down here. And I was saying yesterday, for those of y'all who caught the live last night, that Tyrone was so gracious enough to hook us up with. I can't do it, bro. I feel like sticky fingers. I can't do it, man. I feel like I need to fight a nigga with this.
Yeah, we need to see that third eye. Where's that third eye? Oh, there he is.
All right, yeah, full mega mind.
Yeah, that's what Vince uses to see inside your soul.
Unveiling, yes.
The unveiling of the Georgia Dome.
Georgia Dome.
All right, so yesterday we talked about some stuff that was happening with ComicCon, and like I said, Tyrone was able to kind of give us the plug with Comedy Hub, so that we're now officially live not only on Facebook, Netflix, YouTube, and Twitter, but we also are live on Twitch. So good morning and welcome to our new Twitch watchers, and appreciate y'all. We hope y'all will, you know what I'm saying, continue with us on our journey as we just want to bring y'all Blerd stuff. I can just tell you real quick, I did mention yesterday that I did go on an excursion, and one of the cool things about Blerdville is that it's everywhere. Like I went to a place called Palenque. As a matter of fact, you know what? Hold on, if y'all don't mind, I think I may should actually have some footage from some of the stuff I done did down here. So don't hate, you know what I'm saying, while I'm out here, you know what I'm saying, doing my thug thizzle. But real quick, Ty was hating on me because you know what I'm saying, at one point in time, I actually had did some really weird stuff.
Yeah.
Look at your
there you go.
It wasn't necessarily.
Right.
Look at the guy next to the dude rubbing you down's face. That's what I'm dying laughing
All right,
at.
Steve, what we ain't gonna do is talk about rubbing me down. And stuff. That's not the way I perceived it. It was just to put over the mud over me. But anyway, while I was on one of these trips like that, I happened to bump into some dudes that down here that don't even speak that great English, but they had like Star Wars insignias on their hats, and they was like, they had a hat that said "May the Force be with you," and we kind of bonded in Espanol. So it's everywhere, man. Like it's really cool. Like the whole Blerd movement is international. But speaking of which, man, there's a few things popping. But now that we got Zoo Man back, we never did get a chance to kind of go into some of the stuff we went into last week with Zoo Man. He didn't have a chance to talk about Widow. He didn't have a chance to really go into the He Who Remains. So we want to get into that. But before we do, I have to say, I did ask the our cast to check out this show called Mortel. All right. I'm just really curious because I don't know how long I'm gonna have internet or freedom down here in this communist society. So I just am curious about. By the way, I was just playing. It's not a communist society. What you guys thought about it? Now, before you answer, keep in mind, I already know Yaz don't like foreign films. Okay, so during that, what's your first impression? We ain't gonna spend a whole bunch of time on it because I know Zoo probably ain't watched this yet. But just first impressions. That's all. Just first impressions, real quick, and then we'll move off of this subject.
I want to hear from Yaz first.
Yaz, please.
First impressions. Okay, Mortel. You can skip that. No offense, Vince. I know that you were all like getting excited and geeked up, you know, to let us watch this, but what in the fuck did you have me watching? Okay, who the fuck is this nigga with these fucking glasses that just keep popping up out of nowhere and shit? He's like wannabe fucking Blade over here, like what the fuck? But he's crying. Like I don't get it. And then this whole like thing, like with this fucking with the main character Sofian or whatever the kid's name is, and the boy, like he choked that nigga out and tried to kill him, and he still wants to be his friend. What the fuck is wrong with that kid?
Well, yeah, he's got psychological issues. I mean, that's a part of the theme of the show, man. I mean, I
get it, but that's what I'm like. This is a fucking fucked up show, dude. Like for real. I don't want no kids watching this show because it's okay for your friend to choke you and almost kill you, and then be like, I can't do it. All right. Stop. You know, it's just I don't know. It was.
Tyrone, please, man. What's up, man? Come on.
Yeah.
Are you looking to me to save this show?
Oh no!
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Okay, so you know, I'll give the my little review for it. So it's obviously pretty low budget. You know what I mean? That's obvious when you watch it. It's some of the ways that it's filmed. I'm not super excited about. I mean, it's a cool concept. Not gonna lie, it kind of reminds me, conceptually of like True Blood and stuff. You know, they got that kind of like multi supernatural kind of thing going on. But it doesn't hit. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like if I want to give it like two more episodes and see if it ever hits like kind of a stride or whatever. But honestly, like if I didn't watch the second episode, I'd be okay.
Oh my God! All right. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and even waste y'all time with it. Then
I would like to hear, but I would like to hear what you like about it and stuff. I mean, I want
to hear what Ty was gonna say.
Oh, you don't need to hear it.
I want to hear it.
All right. Well, listen. I'll tell you what I like about it. I like the fact that it's in. Look. For some strange reason, I'm drawn to foreign shows that show a lot of the country because I haven't had a chance to see it. You know what I mean? Okay. I feel like it's almost like traveling without leaving the couch. Ty, you should know something about that. So the fact that the show is based in France, I think is really dope. And the fact that it's a French show that's that with the exception of one or two cast members, is centered around people of color, I think is dope. And then the fact that it's also people of color that have powers. The thing that I love the most about it is that the powers that they use in it are kind of like the Wonder Twins. Like it's not like Sophien has to have his boy by him in order to be able to use his powers, and when he uses his powers, it takes away from like it's not just it's not Superman-esque where it's just like, yo, I can just use all the powers. I have no unlimited, infinite powers. It's like, yo, you have a limit. Like you can't, if he uses them too long, he'll kill his boy. You know what I'm saying? And he can't use it without his boy. So that's intriguing to me. It's a different spin on using powers. You know what I'm saying? And also, I like the fact that they use Haitian and the traditional Haitian voodoo, so to speak, in the movie. But like I said, again, I mean in the show. But again, I really like the fact that it shows outside the outer perimeters of France. Because when you think of France, oftentimes like Lupin is centered in Paris. So you see the Eiffel Tower and all of the luxurious areas of France. But I like the fact that you see like the slum area, you know what I'm saying? Like the backwood, the back streets. And so that's intriguing to me. But then again, I'm really, really big on travel. So I think maybe that the travel side of me is geeking out on this more than, anything else. And which is why Ty don't like it, because he don't travel. You know what I'm saying? If you can't get there by car, he ain't going. Right, Ty?
No, I don't like it because it's trash. Has absolutely nothing to do with me not traveling. I mean, it's just a trash movie. I mean, you mentioned Lupin, and Lupin's actually good.
Lupin is great.
So you can't compare, the goodness to the trash and be like, yeah, well, this is why you don't know. I don't like it because it's trash. I mean, when we had this conversation before you wasted their time, I told you not to do that. I was like, man, they're not gonna like it. No, man, they gonna like it. I'm telling you. I'm like, yeah, I know they gonna like it. Just give them a chance. I did, and here we are. And again, you know what?
Can I review based off the review?
Please. What's up, Zoo?
Based off of what I heard, I kind of don't like this one thing. That would fuck with me in the movie if I had to. I'm not sharing my powers with nobody, man. Fuck you. Be waiting. I'm getting my ass drugged in the alleyway. You having a date. I mean, you can't sync our powers up. People too knuckleheadish for me to be splitting powers with them. I'm ready now. Man. You ain't even got your rent, let alone gonna have your powers ready when I need it. I told y'all I was fighting somebody today. Where we do it? All right. I don't know if I like that.
Do you want to hear my bitch of the week on the show?
All right. You want to do it now? Or you want to do it at the end?
Can you guess who it is before I announce it?
I'm gonna guess that it's Sophie, not Sophien, but the other dude.
No, it is Sophien. Hey, my bitch of the week.
What are you talking about?
He was trash. I could not like that.
Vince, she only saw one episode. Only you decided to watch 2 seasons. We stopped at like 1 or 2. I even gave you the benefit of the doubt, and I went like a good 4 or 5 in, and I was like,
oh no, I couldn't do that. I'm sorry. I gave you 1. I was maybe thinking about 2, but you gotta remember I was sick when I was watching it. So I was like, Dad, or
Yaz was taking her own kind of mud bath while she was watching that show. Oh, was that too much? Did I find the line? Is that? I think that's the first time that a line has ever been crossed on this show.
Yeah.
You found the line and you
literal mud bath.
I'm just upset that I was in the middle of that. Oh God.
All right. Well, all right. We won't waste y'all time with that then. I would ask that some of y'all just let me know if I'm completely far off base. Netflix typically doesn't they didn't renew Jupiter's Legacy, but they did renew Mortel. So somebody's watching this show.
Nah, it was cheap. It was cheaper to renew.
Well, more than likely, it was more than likely there are already 2 seasons of the show available for Netflix to purchase. And they didn't necessarily produce it, only are distributing it. That's more likely the case here because
and Jupiter's Legacy's a budget was like what? How much was it?
Yeah,
we said it was like 200 mil or something like that. Yeah. So I think Mortal's budget was like $50.
I'm just saying, or Mortel, that movie could have been like it could have been really popular in France, you know what I'm saying? And then they decided that they wanted to cross over and see how it was going to be, in the States, and you're the only one that watched it.
Watch this, Tyrone. What if people in France love it, but maybe we don't love it as much because it's spoken in France and translated? And speaking of what if,
that That one was okay. It wasn't your best. But it was okay. Yeah, that was.
He's on vacation. We'll give him that.
Yeah.
Damn, man, all right.
It was an okay pivot. It was an okay pivot.
It's only because your bar is set so high. Like, you know, we expect greatness. You know what I mean?
I think it's just because you're dulling your light. You're just dulling your light. You should probably take that bandana off and just let it shine.
Yeah, you're squeezing your brain with that thing.
Man, I do have legit Megamind forehead right now. But what if, of course, for those of you all who are kind of like me, and after Loki, you're sitting there like, all right, what's next? You know what I'm saying? You don't really know what to do with your life. The next phase of Marvel is what if. But I do want to delve into what if. Before we get into that real quick, though, last week we had the pleasure of having Zoom Man on for just a little bit to talk about what it was we thought of the Black Widow movie. Now, I don't know if you all remember, because it's been a couple weeks, but Black Widow came out, and I personally was underwhelmed by the movie. Now, me and Ty were on the same page for once about this movie. Uh-oh, damn.
Yeah, we lost Zoom Man for
right.
now.
He'll be back, hopefully.
Man, that nigga has some chicken to sell, man. We can't be playing with him, man. He got thighs in the back seat of the car.
Hey, I gotta open this restaurant.
I didn't even see that, yo. That's crazy. All right, but anyway, we was gonna talk about like some of the stuff that went on with Black Widow. I think we have completely. I don't know if we were able to. Did we spoil it last week, or did we kind of try to? Did we try?
We got close to spoiling some stuff, but we managed to avoid major spoilers. But at this point, spoiler rules are off for Black Widow. Y'all had enough time.
What's this? Like 2 weeks in, we already.
My mom said she watched on the Fire Stick, so if you in great quality, so if you haven't watched it by now, like, come on, y'all, what are you doing? Okay, we watched Space Jam, and if you haven't watched this is ridiculous.
Oh damn! I still haven't had a chance to watch Space Jam, but I did download it for the.
Haven't? You're not really missing too much. I'm just letting you know.
Oh wow, really? Is that the? Because I heard that it. I mean, I haven't heard. Here's one thing I would say. I haven't heard anything bad about Space Jam. I've heard it's either
what good have you heard is what I want to know.
I ain't gonna lie, like people are like it's decent, it's dope. I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? I had a good time watching it. It's good for the kids.
It's a great movie.
LeBron was a better actor than Michael Jordan was.
Low bar.
Anything bad? You're the first person to say something ill about Space Jam. As far as
I wasn't impressed. I'm just letting you know. Like I fell asleep through the movie 3 times, and you know me, I don't fall asleep. Yeah, like, and I didn't even have that long of a day. I guess I just like I don't know. I was like I got comfortable, and the next thing you know, I was like out, and then the movie like froze, and I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
And Austin took the remote from me, and he played it, and my cousin and Austin were over, and then they turned it back on, and I ended up falling asleep again, and I was like, shit, the movie's over. Damn, I missed the whole thing, so I had to rewatch it. And I mean, like, it was on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 5. It wasn't that great. Like it wasn't that good. Like the first one was way better.
Yes. Do you smoke indica or sativa?
Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. This is a conversation you have.
Make a difference. You can't watch no movie when you all on that indica.
Yeah. Yo, answer the question, yes. Especially for
both. Okay. So, but I'm just saying, either which way, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You know, it's just like I wasn't into it. And like when I'm not into it, you know, it's like Vince was explaining to us about like when Kiki is not into it, she wants her phone, and he knows it's not that good.
Yeah.
Right? I fell asleep. So
Zoom Man, you know what I mean? Sounds like you watched it. Zoom Man, did you check it out?
I loved it.
Wow, look at this.
Loved it.
Bruh. All right, do tell what you love about it, man.
Go ahead, bro.
No. Tell us. What do you like about it?
Well, the video game aspect of it, that they integrated a video game, and that the kid was coding. The kid didn't want to play basketball like his all-star king of the world dad. He wanted to code. That's huge.
That is dope.
I did
Shout
like
out to STEM. Shout out to STEM.
They normally pushing, but here, be basketball player on little black kids. Here's a black kid that wants to code.
I love it.
Yeah, man. And then the bad guy's name was Algorithm.
Ooh. See,
they was in here clowning.
Wow.
And then, everybody that they got the rights to was in the movie. So it's Game of Thrones characters in the movie. Schwarzenegger's character from Batman is in the movie. Like the cameos are all of the people that they own the rights to.
Oh snap!
It was a part where he says, algorithm says, King Kong ain't got nothing on me. And they cut to King Kong sitting in the crowd and he pouts. Oh.
It sounds
now.
like they did a little Ready Player One kind of action on it.
I think so. Yeah,
it was very Ready Player One, but it was
very
like
much
I guess it was more like a knockoff kind of version of that. I don't know. The acting was okay. It wasn't that great. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron did an okay job. I mean, I much liked the original movie way better than I like this movie. I did like aspects of the movie, you know, like Zuman was saying, you know, I liked that the kid was all about coding and that he wanted, like, he was very, you know, he wanted to be true to himself. And he was like explaining to his dad, you know, basically that, like, why can't you just let me do me? You have such high expectations of what you want, you know? So it was a good message in the movie and stuff like that. And I liked that. But the overall movie, I was just like, I give it a 5. It wasn't like anything like exciting. I have not rewatched the movie since I originally had to rewatch it. Like from that part, I literally fast forwarded. I didn't rewatch the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And like that's not like me. So I just wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't enthralled by it. It was like how you guys were with Black Widow. I had expectations, and it didn't exceed any of them. It just like kind of, yeah.
Bad Ty, did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Thoughts, please.
I actually agree with Yaz. It wasn't as good as I would have expected it to be. Just because you're like it's really hard a lot of times when you have a classic and you try to remake it. Mm-hmm. So whenever you remake it, it has to either be really, really, really good or it's going to turn out to be really, really bad. This one was like, it wasn't really, really bad, but it never like really hit where I would have wanted it to hit. Now, of course, I agree with Zuman. It touches on things that are present day. You know, coding is something that we're trying to push, you know, and to be integrated in a lot of our school systems and become more accessible. So that is definitely something that, you know, is to be respected. But as far as like just the storyline, like I like the storyline for me was what really just threw it off. I was like, you know, as much as I love Don Cheadle and you know what I'm saying and everything like that, like the algae, the algae algorithm, algae, like I just was like I couldn't get the Monster. I just would have loved to see them go a different way with the way that they took the stars and made them into the Goon Squad. I would have liked to see like some old NBA players from the past. You know what I'm saying?
So you know what was crazy about that? They even showed them.
It would have been dope. Yeah, but it would have been dope to have Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and them dudes like playing the present day tunes, because that would have been more of a challenge, and then we could have had the Jordan version.
But they did that. They just did that with Uncle Drew.
But
it just it wasn't. I don't know. I guess you could say the movie was lacking in a lot of character in certain aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like it had a good story. You know what I'm saying? It had a really good story to it, but I just like, I don't know. It was very dry for me. It was very like plain in certain parts of the movie. Like until we got to where you know what I'm saying, to the game and stuff like that. Like Ty was saying, like the Monstars, they like it was just weird. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have liked to see some actual Monstars. You know what I'm saying? Like I get where they were going with that. Go ahead, Vince.
Let me ask y'all something. Do you think that we're, and I haven't seen it, but do you think that since everybody else has seen it, that we're judging it using Space Jam 1s as a set, you know, like the template?
Yahtzee.
You know what I'm saying? Or
this
do you think
for kids?
Exactly. Like, do you think that like our kids, Ty, are looking at it through that same, you know, with that same bar? Do they look at it the same way we saw our original Space Jam? Or are they you know, are we basically unfairly critiquing it because we're basing it on the Michael Jordan Space Jam bad time?
Is that an unfair assessment? I mean, it's
not at all. I guess my question is,
no.
Kids will hate it as much as it sounds like y'all didn't like it.
A kid. Well, I have two. I have two. I listen. I can't speak for a kid, but but I'll speak for what I saw. I have 2 kids. Neither of them enjoyed this movie.
Damn.
Like when I put it on, like my son was like, I don't want to watch this. And my daughter, who normally is my go-to because she'll sit there and just watch a movie with daddy. She was like, I was like, come on, you want to watch this? But she said, So I'm just and then I did a review on this. I did a review on this already, and I just, for me it was like a 5. I think I gave it like a 6, and I think I gave it like a 6 or a 6.5 because of the rap theme. I thought that was dope. Porky Pig dropped bars. So
he did drop bars for sure. He did. That was dope.
Now, Zoo Man, you got kids. Do you got kids, Zoo?
Hey, they're adults. I give it a 10. I don't know what the hell y'all talking about.
Okay.
This shit made me laugh, made me cry, covered all the bases.
You cried?
Y'all over here with the Siskel. Y'all over here with the Siskel and Ebert shit. Man,
you cried?
I'm 50. I got a grandbaby. I'm watching that.
What part did you cry at, though? I just have to know this.
The part where the kid really wants to do their own thing and they have to separate. Yeah. I got a daughter right now that I'm having times where I got to fall back and let her live life, and I can't tell her the way to go. That shit hard. It's hard as fuck to watch your kid not want to do the, because you got a plan in your head. You like, yo, this way.
Yeah.
But at the age she's at, she's coming into her own as a young lady. She got her own business she running. So I got to fall back on a lot of shit. She a new mom. I got to fall back in ways that I saw get communicated in the film.
I understand. I
get it. He really wanted dad to fall back, and he wouldn't. And the lengths that he was willing to go, the fact that the enemy was able to get hold of you because the people who supposed to hold you down ain't listening to you.
Whoa. Yes, I'm starting to feel. I haven't kind of like Zoo Man. I'm going to give this a review without seeing it. It sounds like I would like this film because I'm really relating to that plot, that theme of not being able to kind of having to live in the shadow of the people that are trying to push you down a pathway. You know what I'm saying?
Boy.
And having to kind of divert from your own goals and your own ambitions, just to sink in with what it is that was already predispositioned for you. You know what I'm saying? So I like that notion, and that plot itself is intriguing to me because I feel like I lived that myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as y'all know, I should still be at NASA, but I'm like, nah, I'm out here doing comedy and stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I get that, and it's one of those things where if you don't experience it, it's hard to relate to it. You know what I mean? It's also one of those things that's like, shut the fuck up, boy. Did you go through slavery? You know what I'm saying? Did you get your foot cut off? Nigga, you mad because they forced you to play basketball? Shut your ass up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I didn't really ever see the whole first one in full. So I have really nothing to compare it to, which is letting me watch it like a first time thing. You know, I couldn't if you say what was the plot, I'm like, I don't know, Michael Jordan was in it.
Wow.
Well, just go ahead. Yes.
Like I was saying, like to answer the question you just asked Ty about, if your kids would like it, you know what I'm saying, and like you would connect to and everything. Like we were stating, the plot was good. That was the only good thing about the actual movie was the plot. You know what I'm saying? Like that was solid, because of the message that was there. Like I really respected that. But everything else about it just kind of like, I feel like it was like thrown together kind of thing. It wasn't really too organized. It's fine. It's whatever. Like the movie was okay. But my thing about it is it's a sequel. So when The Incredibles came out 20 years ago, that movie fucking bombed. Like it was a high commodity.
No.
Not bombed. I mean, I'm sorry. It exploded. Like it was a high commodity in the box office. You know what I'm saying? So like to compare it to its sequel that came out 20 years later, same thing with Space Jam. That second movie, also same thing. It was a high commodity in the box office. So, I mean, and it also had the same thing. Like, it also had a great plot and a great message in it and everything. But that movie had all the things. You know what I'm saying? It was all around a great movie. I still have watched it, like, multiple times. This movie, I would not rewatch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just because of this is how it transpired. When you watch it, you'll understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like what Ty and I are getting at. But it's just like I don't know. I wasn't enthralled with the movie like I have been with movies that they've remade. If it's a sequel, like Ty was saying, you either need to kill that shit or it's gonna bomb with like to certain people because it's a sequel. You know what I'm saying? Like it just has that high expectation. Like, and this movie I feel like it had so many high expectations. It just like it couldn't reach them, and it did its best. That's kind of
can I throw this at you, yeah? Since we in the area of what if type of world we be in, right?
Yeah.
What if they do a third one and they put Giannis in it, except he got on the Kang the Conqueror mask because he kind of looked like him a little bit.
Oh my god, dude, man, I'm gonna stop you right there. Okay. There should not be a third movie.
Okay, all right.
No,
not even with the Kang on.
No, nope. This is not Stephen King kind of movies where we can use them, or fucking R.L. Stein movies where we can have little crazy sequels and it's cute and funny. This is not one of those things. Like certain things need to stay a fucking classic. Like, have they ever remade like what is my favorite movie?
Mortel.
Definitely not. 100% not. No. Okay, so have they ever remade The Princess Bride? No,
but they should.
That movie is a fucking awesome ass movie. You know what I'm saying? Why would you remake that? Because you cannot make it any better than it has been. So once you get to that movie to that certain stature, let that shit go, man. Let it stay in that high, praise and like in our minds. Don't fucking kill it with a goddamn sequel. That's all I'm saying. And definitely don't kill it with the fucking third one.
Final thoughts from Space Jam, Tyrone.
So no on Giannis.
I haven't seen the second one yet. So I can only give my review based on what y'all have been saying. But I think even to compare it to the first movie, I mean, the first movie was fun and stuff, but it was Space Jam. I mean, it was still like a silly, fun movie or whatever. So I enjoy the conversation that y'all are having. It sounds like there was some very deep stuff that was taken from this movie. I don't, when I do watch it, I will go in expecting silly fun.
Right.
And if there is like some, if I do see story elements that are like, oh shit, that's deeper than I thought, or if I see some good acting that I didn't expect to be there, then pleasant surprise. But otherwise, just go and have a little fun and watch some Space Jam. I mean, Porky Pig raps in it. You know what I mean? So I mean, like there's for real. Yeah, that's my that's where my expectations lie. It's like, oh, is Porky Pig rapping? Yeah, okay. I'm just I was gonna have some fun with it.
All right. In closing on Space Jam, I just want to remind y'all that in the first Space Jam, Michael Jordan dunked from half court, and it wasn't really, I didn't really. There wasn't really nothing monumental except for the fact that Michael Jordan was in a cartoon world. Let's not forget that Charles Barkley was on the basketball court. It wasn't. If you go back and watch the original, I think that your nostalgia takes place, or it takes precedence over the actual quality of the movie.
I've still seen the original multiple times, Vince. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, certain movies don't die. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Nostalgia doesn't die.
But are you doing that thing where you're associating a movie's greatness with your childhood? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, sometimes that happens. Like, yo.
No, because you want to know why? Hold on. Here we go. You ready? I've rewatched Indian in the Cupboard as an adult. I turned that shit off because it was boring as fuck. So, no, okay? I can watch movies from my childhood as an adult, and I'm like, damn, how did I get through this motherfucker? My favorite. Yeah, The Aristocrats, my favorite. You with the little kitties, one of my favorite fucking movies. I had to rewatch it with my niece a couple years ago, and I was like, this is a fucking boring ass movie. Like, damn. So no, I don't associate shit with nostalgia. I give it its honest, okay? Honest decree. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad.
Funny.
I just want to hear Yaz keep on listing movies just to see where it goes, because I was not expecting Indian in the Cupboard. That was that was a deep cut that needs some husks to put on that thing to heal it up, because that was a super deep cut.
But point taken, though. Point taken. Totally understood. Yes, some things you can't touch again. They're forever good.
Yeah.
And I've literally seen Princess Bride as a child. That's when I first saw it as a child. I've watched it I know every single word in that movie without even watching it. Literally, I could just say the whole thing because I've seen it that many fucking times as an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we got that.
I'm not. But I could. Like, legit.
Nah, I'm with you. I got mad at the idea. I got mad at the idea when you said it. I was like, hey, who's trying to remake the shit? They better.
But that's what I'm saying though. You would get like why?
Yeah.
You know what
I'm mad.
Like,
yeah.
Why would you do that to certain things though? That's what I'm saying. Like if you're not gonna fucking kill that shit, like destroy it and like make us like, damn, the first one was like, yo, then the second was like, yo. It's like that meme you see with that wrestler dude when he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't do it, why? What the fuck is the point of remaking that shit? So you can crash it, and then like people be like, well, fuck, the second one was really bad. I don't even know if I want to watch the first one because I'm thinking about the second one. Why kill that shit? You know, let it be.
Well, let me take a movie. Let me take a movie. This was not on the list of topics for discussion today, but let me just take that same energy, right, and transfer it to another franchise that I love, that I'm very nervous about. I haven't even uploaded anything about this, though, no images. But Ghostbusters, right? Like Ghostbusters 1 was completely like there's nothing you could tell me about Ghostbusters 1. Period. I mean, it's perfect. It's flawless as far as I'm concerned. It's with the exception of the fact that Eddie Murphy turned the part of Ray down, which I think would have been the perfect cast. Venkman, Egon, and Ray. It would have been perfect with Eddie, but even with Ernie stepping in that role, perfect. Then they go and make 2, still good. But then they do this whole, this FEMA Ghostbusters thing, which I wasn't opposed to. Shout out to my ladies, who runs the world, girls. But I wasn't necessarily thrilled with the Liz Lemon, Leslie Jones Ghostbusters. However, I am extremely looking forward to this new Paul Rudd version where they kind of redo, and it's a continuation of the Ghostbusters. Now, in that same spirit, like you was just talking about, some things you should not touch. I don't think that Ghostbusters falls under that category. I mean,
no.
So
it's paranoia fun. I mean, like it's one of those things like aliens, wizards, you know what I'm saying? Like witches, vampires, one of those things that's always gonna fucking be in. You can remake that shit a million fucking times because we technically don't have like a real true saying of like what is legit, you know what I'm saying? So you can remake it and like turn our whole world upside down and be like, damn, I like that version just as much as I like that version. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can still have your many favorites with that. I mean, like Interview with the Vampire, still one of my favorite fucking movies.
Oh, there's supposed to be, there's a show coming out.
I know. I'm waiting. I got high expectations, but I'm just, I'm just gonna sit here and just wait because I know what happens when expectations, they get dropped. So I'm just not gonna put that energy
So
out there.
what they gonna do? They gonna have young Lestat when he was like 12?
I don't know about that young, but I mean they're gonna have like kind of his life before. I mean, we obviously saw his life after, so we're gonna see the life before and then up to like when he became a vampire.
He was a real freak when he was a young boy. He was nasty.
Find out.
Boy, I used to drain you right in back alley. Nasty.
All right. Well, needless to say that these movies that we loved as a childhood still remain like prevalent in our current day, and we're still looking forward to them, being hopefully in terms of the legacy carried on if they do make more movies. But in terms of things that remain, okay, Tyrone,
that was better.
We never had a chance to really talk with Zooman about He Who Remains, and I think he now saw the Loki finale. And this, what I love about this is that this is the gift that keeps on giving. Like, there's so many theories out there right now. Like, when it first popped, it was like, oh, okay, He Remains. We know that he's Kang. But now it's like, okay, well, Kang has so many variants. And now we're starting to learn that a lot of his variants are characters that we've come to know and love. I was talking to Talene earlier, and he was telling me he completely melted my brain. Go ahead, tell her what you told me, Ty. Tell who are some of the variants that we know that our Kang actually ends up being.
Well, I'm not going to take credit for this because my homeboy, he's really a deep comic book savant, and he told me that Dr. Doom is a Kang variant.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Doom.
Let's run with that.
Is a Kang variant.
I mean, that kind of makes sense, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think there was a story where they were trying to convince people Dr. Doom was a Kang variant, even to the point where Dr. Doom was like, "Am I a Kang variant?" Where even he didn't know. I think that's probably like the story that your friend was talking about, because I don't think Dr. Doom has ever in canon been a Kang variant, but he was like,
I wish he was here for that, boy, because I'm telling you, he was oh man, we gotta get him on now, because this dude, when I tell you this dude is a savant, so if he's saying that, I gotta trust him, man, because this dude ain't been wrong. I'm telling you, he has not been wrong. This is what, man, you gonna make me hit him right now.
Still early, hit him up right now.
Tell him pull up.
Yeah, this dude will up in here right now and stretch all that.
Look, bro, Blerd Church is in session, bro. Go ahead and pull up to the pews, man. It's time to have this conversation, man. But for real, like, I'm wondering, like, Loki, the finale is not. It's still like ringing fresh. I don't know about y'all, but I'm like still just as geeked about it since the time they opened up the elevator and pow. There's freaking there is, well, I mean, I guess they don't want to call him Kang just yet, but there is the one with many names, a conqueror. Zooman, as an actor yourself, bro, and congrats on your recent role as well, man. And we all, are loving the fact that you're killing it on the movie scene. But as an actor, I know that you can respect the performance that our man Jonathan put on for us, bro. Like, I mean, I'm assuming you saw it by now, and I've been waiting for a week now to get your assessment of what it is that you thought of this performance, this episode, the whole entire timeline, about the fact that Sylvie finally sucked face with herself.
Bruh.
What's up,
bruh? First off, it starts with this actor. You can put a lot of people in that position, but the actor you chose is going to be the visage of the most vicious thing going on in the next couple phase, right? This everybody headache coming up. And, Thanos, he might have been Latino. I kind of was getting Latino vibes off his collar. I just was.
You did not just say that.
I just was. Come on.
I'm shaking my damn head right now.
The stones and the jewelry.
You're gonna have a lot of Latinos coming after your ass.
and they very well can. Let their thumbs do the walk. I'm nice with this comedy business. I shred them off. I'm tired of. I hate when amateurs with thumbs think they could just pull up, Vince. Come on in.
I know, right?
Let me give you these. Yeah. But the fact that the imagery is not just a black man, but a very strong featured black man, because I don't see that in the actual comic of Kang. The one you got right now, his facial features aren't that of I wouldn't say that's a brother right there. That could be a bunch of different people. But when you look at that imagery and just like, wow, we run in the universe. Yeah, we jacking it up right now, but we are kind of in charge of shit. I was feeling that, even though he's a troublemaker. The scene though, his acting. What awards would he get for this? Is this an Emmy? What would he get?
Yeah, wow. Golden Globe, Emmy, those ones.
The monologue, man. The monologue, because he knows everything, and to know that he's about to die, the way he carried this whole conversation with them.
Right. Yeah.
This isn't just, I know I'm about to die, or there's the potential. I've been alive a long time, and finally I'm about to clock out. So there was a joy, almost a jovialness in dying. My man at the end said, "See you soon." Ugh.
Yeah. Well, there's a theory. First of all, thank you for introducing the concept of Thanitos. I'm not going to be able to get that out of my head.
Come on now, Tanito. Hey, Tanito.
I'm appalled.
I'm muy bien. Ven aquí, como Tanitos están en todos los países. But yo, the funny thing is, I don't think that he knew his death, Zooman, because remember, we just crossed the threshold. right? So he's like, I fibbed a little bit. I knew everything up to a point, and now I don't know. No, I have no idea what's about to happen. And so that was the exciting part. Like they sat down. The question I have is, did he know that he was going to get to the threshold and that he was going to get to a point where he would not know? That is something that I think is worth discussing.
But he didn't know. But they showed up to kill him.
They did, but he didn't know if they
was to kill him. Well, so he knows she can't trust Loki at all. It comes down to what I told you. You can't trust nobody, right? Bam. So y'all finna fight. Loki was in a different place. He the only one in the room acting different than normal.
True.
Everybody else on their game. This dude all like he in love, yo, shit's different, son. Don't.
Yo,
and when he saw that she was the last one, what else was she gonna do?
Oh wow!
She's about to kill him.
So I've been seeing a lot of like stuff, like online and stuff like that, and I've noticed that the same time period that because you got to remember everything's connected, right? All of like the Marvel shows and movies are all connected, right? So in WandaVision, when Wanda becomes the Scarlet Witch,
yes, I saw that too. Yes,
that's when he says we just passed this threshold. So he did not know that was going to happen. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like she didn't even know that was going to happen. She immersed and became, you know what I'm saying? Like the Scarlet Witch, she became somebody else, you know what I'm saying? And like, she created her chaos magic, so that's
I think his confidence also came from the fact that he kind of knew the pointlessness of it all. Like he knew that worst case scenario, if he does die in this moment, then, shit's about to get real, and that's why he was like, see you soon. Cause he knows that, it's just, this is the way time works. It's just coming back around and there are going to be more variants and, he's seen it all. So he's like, all right, whatever. Like it'll, it ends up working out one way or the other.
But peep it, the two of them show up and his plan was to hand it off to them, right? So what was he just going to say? Here, take the keys, I'm out? He dies, right?
Well, no.
And he wanted it. He was just going to dip off somewhere?
He was still going to be at the helm, but he was going to they were basically going to be assistant pimps. You know what I'm saying?
They were going to be like Bravanas, but like more to him. You know what I'm saying? Like his liaisons, basically. That's
he still would have been. He would have been. Go ahead, son.
He ain't want that job, bro. You don't remember? And this was a cold scene too. He said, "Buddy, I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm old. Yeah, he's ready to get out the game. That sounds like an old dope boy ready not to be. He want to be in Florida somewhere. But the young wolves is gonna eat his ass. The young wolves ain't gonna let him
Yeah.
live.
It was kind of sincere from Belly. Like, I want to go to Africa. Yeah,
yo, I've been wilding for hundreds of lives, son. Ready to just settle down with one life.
Yeah, I can dig that. But I think that's the difference in the two timelines, right? Like, so in theory, right, if He Who Remains passes the keys to Loki and Sylvie then become, he and she, Master and Mrs. Master of the Time Warriors, right? The time variant of the TVA, whatever. And then they just keep everything as it was. Then He Who remains a figure behind the curtain. In the spirit of Wizard of Oz, and they just keep everything the way it is without disrupting the timeline. But Sylvie's like, fuck that. With that timeline, then that means you're still going to be kidnapping kids from their own timeline. Because Sylvie's, she's looking at this from a completely different perspective, right? She's like, look, man, I didn't have no childhood. I lived in Armageddon after Armageddon after Armageddon trying to hide because y'all took me from the rightful, upbringing that I should have had. And I don't really know what the fuck I am. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I don't want nobody else to have that shit. So this whole thing got to die. Loki's like, yeah, but we don't know. We know this devil, but we don't know the other devil that's out there. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought it was real funny that somebody's like, how is Loki sitting here with a British accent, but he's Norwegian? Like
dead ass, right? Dead ass. What you know about a Norseman, right?
So he should have sounded more like. Go ahead.
So is it cheating to watch the videos that's on YouTube about the stuff? Because I be trying to study up what I don't know. Is that cheating? Like,
No,
I don't
hell
know it
no.
right off.
No,
Okay.
that's educating
That's
yourself.
exactly what you're supposed. Look, Yaz. Most of the stuff Yaz is talking about is stuff from memes.
I am the meme queen. Like, I am the meme queen, bro. Like, for real. Like, all the memes in the group, that's Yaz, straight up. Like, I just, like, I'll just be sitting, just like, ooh, I like this, Sif.
Yeah.
Funny.
So what I've heard. Go ahead. Yes.
Well, there's a theory I saw on the jump that was that damn, what's her name? Sylvie was originally supposed to be a Valkyrie.
Ooh.
And that's why she didn't ever feel like a true Loki. Like, it was out of pocket. It wasn't working right because you was supposed to be raised to protect Asgard. So when you killing dude, you think you doing what you're there to do. Protect Asgard. You got to kill this dude.
I take issue with that theory. Because Loki, as we know him, was not Asgardian until he was adopted.
Frost giant.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little. That's a little of a stretch. But then again, we are talking Marvel, so perhaps she was, going to be raised as but the Valkyries, from what I understand, were not royalty. They were like the army of.
Yeah, that's why she's a fighter. That's why she was in fight mode all the time.
But so was Loki. Like, Loki was still Loki, Thor, and the Four. They were all going from planet to planet, basically being galactic police. You know what I'm saying? You know, the America's police. You know what I'm saying? And Loki was a part of that. So it I guess it would make sense in the sense that Valkyries were mainly female warriors.
Right.
I could see that being the case. But Loki in itself was adopted royalty, right? So it would almost be demotion to be a Valkyrie as opposed to Loki, who was basically like a prince of Asgard. So
but didn't she denounce being called a Loki?
She did. That part.
She was like, "Don't call me that, son. Stick this knife in your mouth."
Oh, you're muted, Ty.
Get all you got. Juke you up, son. Juke you up.
Ty, you're muted, bro. Unmute yourself, Ty.
There you go.
Oh yeah. But he who remains, who I guess kind of wrote the whole history of everybody, basically referred to her as Loki. He was like,
when he was setting the tea down.
He was like Loki and Loki.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like one thing that Marvel did consistently throughout the whole, from the time that we encountered Sylvie to the very end of the series, they started referencing her as Loki for the entire rest of the series, all the way up until the end. So I mean, again, like I'm this is the same thing that kind of me and Tyrone were talking about, and I said until they actually manifest these things and actually turn it, then let's, you know what I mean, because we could keep on speculating, but they gave us the whole series. We already got, you know what I mean, everything. But I get it.
But I do think at this point though, we know, like, because I was still questioning for a while whether or not she was even a Loki variant, but like we know for sure that she is a variant of Loki. Whether or not she wants to be called Loki, that's all her things. Like, so she's like, nah, I'm Sylvie. This is my identity or whatever. So it feels like they established, yes, she is a variant of Loki without question. But she does not, she is not playing this Loki game. She's playing her Sylvie game.
Mm-hmm.
Has any of y'all seen the theory, or at least the acknowledgement that our boy Kid Loki is actually the oldest of all of the Lokis, and he was
in the void
earlier than the rest of the Lokis? I find that fascinating. I also think it's fascinating. I wonder if he was pruned first because he killed Thor so early. But I think there's a whole storyline there, and I think if they do that right, then this could be a prominent portion of the sequel. Which I'm curious as to you all. I want to get all of your opinions. After the Loki series finale, I was shocked, frankly, to see that there was this spoiler that there will be a season 2 of Loki. I frankly wasn't expecting that, because these series seem a little bit like one-offs. Like, I don't see that there's going to be a WandaVision sequel. I don't see that there's, I want one. Don't get me wrong, but they didn't announce one at the end of it. Right. I would be glad to see a Falcon and Winter Soldier sequel, but they didn't announce it at the end of it. Right. but they went through the trouble of announcing that there will be a Loki sequel for the series, which is a little baffling to me because that means that it has to take place in a certain time, because we know that the next few movies that come out are going to embody the plot of Loki. So it's almost like it can't be this. It has to be a completely different set of circumstances in which it's based on. And
well, Loki an OG though, man. He been there. He been there for a while, bro. He done went through all kind of hairstyles and whatnot. He been here for a while. he been in it for a minute. They want to give him two. You know what I mean? He like, yo, I don't need one. I'm not them. They just got here.
Yeah.
He did. But I'm saying, like, well, it's hard for me to picture, like, I mean, well, I guess that's the beauty of the Loki series, is that it couldn't go anywhere. It doesn't have to be like we're still unveiling the notion of Lady Thor. You know what I'm saying? We're still unveiling the whole multiverse saga. So I mean, there's so much room for a whole different plot line with Loki, and Loki can be like, you know, the middle of that spider web that ties everything together. So I'm really geeked up about it. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I was completely wrong about this one. When Loki first started, I was a little, you know, like, all right, you know, I get it. You know, I mean, I don't know. Me and Ty was on the same page with it. We was like, all right, man. I just thought. Well, I think
if you don't stop putting me and looping me into what you know, I have never been on the same page with you on this series. I have always, bro, from day one, I have not budged. I have said Loki, the most fire.
Oh my God, yo, you are both. Yo, we got the tape, bro. We got the tape. Me and you both had like this thing that it was starting slow.
Okay, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna lean to my other cohorts here because you clearly have your own. Have I wavered even a bit about the Loki series since day one?
No, Ty was pretty excited about the Loki series going in even before the episode started, for sure. I could, yeah, he's right here. There was a lot of excitement for the Loki series, and I don't think at any point. I think the only point where there may have been some some deviation from that, if anything, was when we were talking about the fight scenes. I think that's about the only point. Yeah.
Nah, but yo, we didn't think that the first episode wasn't really that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was Black Widow. Maybe I
think you're still in the mortal phase because you're speaking French with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, nah, there was never a we, brother.
Yeah, we need that air horn right now.
Remember before Loki even came out, I said I think this will be the best Marvel series out of all of them. I said that before it even came out, and boy, if Tom Hiddleston didn't motherfucking make me look like a damn psycho, because I've loved it from day one, not wavered a bit. I still love it. Listen, I'm not even remotely surprised that there's a season, because I remember I argued with Tyrone at the end when he said he thought they was going to kill Tom, and I was like, no, there's no fucking way they're going to kill Tom. He's the best thing that Marvel has popping right now, and I still stand on that.
All right. Well, there's another thing. All right. Well, listen. All right. Maybe I'm wrong. I might have confused Black Widow, and I don't speak French, so fuck you.
Yeah, we agree on Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow. We'll talk about that in a second too. But
thank you in the comment section. In the comment section,
I like Black Widow. I saw Black Widow. I liked it.
You did.
There you go, Zoo, man. Thanks for being the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
We needed you. Thank
I enjoyed it.
Exactly.
So you everything about it, Zoo. You didn't think it was okay. So just go ahead, man. Just give us your review, man.
There were moments when, of course, the dad's accent sucked. It was awful. He just gave up. Just said, "I'm not doing it today." Right? He went to talking like a.
Thank you.
American. I was like, this is trash. Whose agent? He got an agent, not just an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but his agent who got him booked on this. It's terrible.
Oh man, I
can think of a bunch of white boys they could have.
I agree with you, Zoo. I'm totally in agreement.
But yo, you didn't think it.
Outside of that, when I watched it, this is what I understood it to be. If it falls in the timeline, comes out the time that it's supposed to come out, they're about to make a big shift. She sacrificed herself in what we just watched previously, and so she up out of here now, right?
Right.
Unless they bring her back some kind of way, but for the most part, she's up out of here. And they really never told us nothing about it. This was a let me give you your flowers movie.
Okay. All right. But
they wanted to put a bow on it. You know, we moving on. This is her life. She got a sister and a dad and mom. It's not really her mom and a sister. Yeah. Let's put a bow in it.
But we do now that we could actually get into spoilers and stuff. We do have. They did give us Yelena, who is most likely going to be involved in a lot of future stuff in Marvel. Most likely the upcoming Hawkeye show. Yeah. Oh my God. That's just awesome. Like, and I would love to see her be the antagonist in the Hawkeye show, and have if she's got beef with Clint, if she's got beef with Kate Bishop, that would be fantastic. We also saw in the end credit scene, we saw Valentina Allegra. We saw she of many names, Queen of the Andals, first of her name. Like, we saw her come through, and she's there's talk about her setting up the Thunderbolts.
Yes,
which is another team of villains that's going to be a lot of fun. So there's it wasn't just here's a little bit of Black Widow to kind of give her the flowers. It wasn't so much just that. They did give us a lot of other stuff to mess with for the future. I know there's like a lot of talk about whether or not Taskmaster was good or bad. I really enjoyed this version of Taskmaster, and I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes, because they left that open with Taskmaster. Would love to see Taskmaster show up.
If I may spread out. Yeah, they could spread out.
Mm-hmm.
If I may, I was actually all right. See, now I'm really going to get a lot of hate, because I actually was disappointed with the Taskmaster unveiling.
I got no hate for you on that.
I mean, I get it. All right. Now, at risk of sounding chauvinistic, I mean, I get why we're very female, centric right now, and how we kind of want to. You know what? This is a very thin ice right here that I'm treading on. So let me walk this line carefully. I understand. Let me say it like this. This is how you say it. I'm so happy that we're giving women their just due in these movies and in these shows, and I'm thrilled that they're able to embody not only the hero theme, but even the villain themes. In this particular instance, I think I would have preferred to see the Taskmaster from the comics that we've already known of, which doesn't necessarily get unveiled, which just remains a mystery. I think that they unveiled Taskmaster a little too quickly. I think that it didn't have that effect when we found out that it was his daughter, as I would have expected. I think that it was just kind of weird, because I don't see that version of that. I mean, it's hard for me to picture that Taskmaster that they were displaying as the woman that she was. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that it's because it's a woman. I mean, the woman that I guess envisioned was more of a Xena warrior, was more like Gina Carrero. She looked like a veiled young lady. She looked like she had to wear body padding to fill out the suit that she was in. And it just kind of took away from the realism for me, particularly. Now, I know that's not for everybody, but I don't know, man. As a dude who's read about Taskmaster ever since the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, who's watched them even in the video games and even in the shows, it just, I don't know, man. Because Taskmaster's a smartass. Like, he didn't talk in this movie. You know what I'm saying? In the cartoon, in the comics, he talks a lot of shit. Like, he's a shit talking ass motherfucker, and he couldn't even talk in this movie. So I mean, I didn't. But then again, I may be doing that thing where I'm setting the expectations too high, but I'm basing the expectations off of what I was fed. Off of people.
Hey, can I give you a perspective to put on it?
Please.
Because this stuck out to me. I was really picking up a whole lot of Harvey Weinstein vibe out of this.
What?
The whole having control over all these women at a young age, and programming them and having them under his control to a very ugly degree. and he looked like him. You know, he looked nasty and fat, nasty dude with a crappy beard. I was like, I think they was trying to get their little shot off on Harvey. I do. I think they was like, "Fuck you, Harvey."
Yo,
I got
this movie.
Go ahead, Ty. I saw you.
Like I saw when I watched this movie, I saw a theme that was being like kind of projected the whole movie, and the theme was, you know, outside of the sex trafficking or, you know, human trafficking, you know, that was, you know, kind of touched on in the beginning of the movie. All of the women that worked for this organization, we found out later, you know, had their organs removed. Their reproductive organs, you know, all of the things that make them, you know, a woman. And then they were all kind of projected as these tough, masculine versions of themselves. Even down to Black Widow and her relationship with that guy. It was like really flirtatious, but nothing ever really, you know what I'm saying, that ever takes place. With the other women that were in that organization, they were all kind of like really, you know, like just you know what I'm saying. And so when I saw the constant show of that, it made sense to keep Taskmaster a woman, because even she had a relationship with that nurse, the black assassin as well. Because remember at the end when Taskmaster was on the ground and she came over there and was like, oh, you know, say like all worried. And when they was in the I don't know where they was at, when she like kind of was rubbing the mask, the metal mask, you could tell they were trying to show that there was more of a relationship between those two. So that was perpetuated throughout the entire film, as far as like just this mass, like women being strong and powerful, and you know, like, I mean, it really was, and I think that was the main focus of this Black Widow movie, was to kind of project that women empowerment movement.
Yeah, I think it's okay to not like this version of Taskmaster if you liked you know, the version that you're used to. I think that, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have a problem with Taskmaster being a woman. I got a question for you, Vince. You know, if everything were exactly the same, but like when the mask came off, it was a dude, would you have liked this version any better, or would you have been like thought exactly this?
That's a great question. You know what? I think that you just hit on it. I think that you just hit on it. I don't think that it's the fact that it was a girl. I think it was the girl that it was. I think that's the girl that it was. And so even if it was a dude, if it was Topher Grace, I'd be like, come on, man, Topher Grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's more the body image, less the masculine image, right? Yeah. So I think that I was just expecting, and they did a good job with the misdirection. You know, as comedians, we know what a misdirection is. They said us one thing and they completely went a different way. So we weren't expecting some girl who, dare I say, at risk of being canceled, was a little more dainty and frail. But I just was expecting more of a warrior, like Amazonian, Wakandan. You know what I'm saying? Like just a more. Again, man.
Well, I see.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And to Ty's point, because Ty was making this point earlier, I think what they were doing with this movie, and even probably with this casting choice, was they're trying to bridge the gap, because there's this gap between femininity in media and toughness. Like, if you're feminine, you can't be tough. If you're feminine, you can't be a warrior. If you're feminine, you can't be powerful. And Marvel's been kind of breaking down that barrier to where, okay, like we can see women who are feminine, you know, in the way that they look, and, you know, in the way that we kind of understand femininity to be, you know, historically, but they can still be tough. Like, we don't have to, you know, you don't have to look like Gina Carano to be considered a tough person in the Marvel universe. You know what I mean? You can be somebody who's just kind of like an average body type and still be an ass kicker. You know what I mean? So I think I like what Ty was getting at with that earlier. And I think that's what this Taskmaster choice does for them a little bit. So we can kind of train us away from this idea of, if somebody appears to be, you know, a more feminine woman, then they can't then be tough. You know what I mean? I think they're kind of training us away from that.
Well, let me just challenge that for a second. Like, I'm in no way, shape, or form trying to say that, you know, a woman has to be a certain size or be a certain figure or shape to be tough. What I'm saying is I anticipated the Taskmaster himself to be this way. Like I look, Black Widow, Yelena, I'm freaking huge fans of these two young ladies.
Oh yeah,
you know I'm not tripping off of the fact that they're not necessarily built like Andre the Giant and shit. And they're freaking killing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that, like, with, you know, for me, again, Taskmaster is a Spider-Man spinoff. So anything that comes out of Spider-Man, I'm going to be a little bit more critical of.
Yeah.
That's my first love is the Spider-Man comics. So that may just be me being a freaking you know, a prima donna about this and just expecting more of the Spider-Man depictions. Now, having said that, I'm not opposed to what they've introduced us to. And if I know anything about Marvel, what I know now is that a title does not always stay within one person. Like the Taskmaster could end up being somebody else. We're about to get another Black Panther. We're about to get another freaking Thor, but another Loki. You know what I'm saying? So just because, you know, this Taskmaster is this version in this timeline does not mean that in another timeline that Taskmaster isn't Jake the Snake or freaking, you know, or whatever the hell. So I'm not tripping. Again, it just threw me off a little bit. And I hate that it did, but I mean, I'm just speaking truthfully. I mean, obviously, this is Blerd Church. We're speaking the truth here.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So that's how I felt. That's one of the things that threw me off. Another thing that me and Ty, I think, had an issue with is just the fact that it felt slow, Zoom, man. It felt slow to me, man. It felt slow. There's a series of holes that were left afterwards. Which one thing we know about Marvel is they take advantage of those holes and make series out of them later, so I can only expect them to delve into that stuff. Like I think that the dude that was from Handmaid's Tale, the black dude, I forget his name. There's a whole storyline between how he and ScarJo met. But I mean, I don't know, man. One thing that confused me is that Yelena was still, as a grown person, upset about her upbringing, you know, with her family or whatnot, not being real, but as a child, Black Widow was saying like, oh, I remember we took these pictures. Remember that photo shoot? That photo, like they were clearly doing fake shit when they were younger. Right. Like,
yeah.
How come she didn't know? I mean, did they?
Natasha knew, but Yelena didn't. Yelena was too young to actually know what was happening. She just thought she was just a little girl living with her family.
So at what point in time, like, she was ripped apart? They was ripped from the family at an early age, bro. Like, why? Why did it take her so? I mean, you think that it was just resentment because she was even led to believe that it was real at first, or was it that she learned so late? And also, somebody explained to me, and I have a theory about this, but somebody else. Sorry, somebody's getting their vibrator on this morning.
Oh, no, we don't. We don't hear you. We don't hear you.
Yeah. But somebody explained to me why they fought at first. Why did the Black Widow and Yelena? Why were they in a fighting scene at first? And if they were supposed to know each other, what was the purpose of them fighting?
So the purpose of their fight was the whole fact that basically when Black Widow got out, she did not come back for her. You know what I'm saying? And like, and that was what she was so pissed off about, was like, you're the only one that got out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't ever make it out. Like, and that was her biggest point. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, why didn't you come back for me? And like, you know, and she's like, I see on TV all the time, my sister's a big adventurer. You know what I'm saying? And then like, remember when they see that girl like basically like kill herself? That's yeah. Like, see what I told you? She's like, we don't make it out. You know what I'm saying? She's like, you're the only one that made it out. She's like, and you never came back. That's why she was so pissed. That's why she fought her, because she was like, not only did she find out that the family that she thought was real, that she got ripped apart from, was fake, but her sister, like, just like they weren't even sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything was fake. And then like, even then when she found out that, she never even came back for her. So that relationship she thought she had with her was just like, it was fabricated. So that's why she was so pissed off at her. That's why she was like fighting her.
I'd be mad too. All this Budapest trips and all that shit. You ain't stopped by the crib with your bum ass.
That's why she's like now, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what happened this whole time, and then now you show up. You know what I'm saying? That's why she was like, that's why she's pissed. So
you got a different take on it, Ty?
Bust her ass.
Yeah, I actually do. Imagine just having a regular sister, and now imagine having a sister who was raised as an assassin.
Okay.
Now you guys haven't seen each other for years and years and years, and as an assassin, you're taught to trust no one.
Mm-hmm.
So when she stepped into that room, she's got her guard up because she doesn't know what to expect. She does recognize that that's her sister, but she does also realize that I haven't seen her in years. And so when they both see each other, they don't know whether or not they can really trust each other.
Okay.
So now they're just doing what brothers would do, like, and when they haven't seen each other in a long time. Yo, I might give you the little 2-piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this is since they are actually man, hold on, man, because this is that call. Hold on.
Oh, that's old boy.
Oh, there's
the call.
Hold up, that's the call.
Hilarious.
Hey Ken. Hey man, I'm on the show right now, bro. And I mentioned to everybody that Dr. Doom was a Kang variant, and I got some blowback, man. Could you touch on that a little bit?
Yo, first of all, we don't know what the fuck this is.
Hold up.
I just found out in the Doom series they had out like maybe last year, 2 years, that they explained that King at first originally, matter of fact, I'll send you the screenshot.
Yeah.
And King and Dr. Doom was in one scene. They was talking in unison together at one time.
Okay.
That the theory was always out that that Kang was influenced. Yeah, that's what it eventually came to. Kang was influenced by Dr. Doom, and they said that he was descended. You know that. Then it switched when it got to the 1990s. That hey, it was Nathaniel Reed. He was the one that was going around, and he was a descendant of Reed Richards and his father and all this, blah 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 blah. You know, younger thing is just everything. But you know what? At this time of day, I know that Richards had brothers all over again.
You said Kane and Reed.
No, I mean Dr. Doom and Reed Richards half brothers.
Yo, you heard?
It's hard to hear you, boy.
It's really hard to hear.
Hey, listen.
I can fill in the blanks. I can fill in the blanks there. What he's saying is so there's a Kang variant who was a scientist named Nathaniel Richards, who was a descendant of Reed Richards and Dr. Doom, or it was theorized to be the case. I don't even think that has been ever like truly confirmed with Marvel. Like that's there, there were theories that was the case, and they kind of are they just let that linger out there. But Dr. Doom has never been a Kang variant, but he is generally thought to be a descendant of Kang the Conqueror is thought to be a descendant of Dr. Doom and Reed Richards. Yeah.
So
because he was a scientist, you're right.
Yeah.
A teacher, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, those are conflicting stories. I mean, is he a variant or is he a distant cousin? I mean, what the fuck? This sounds more like an Ancestry.com less than a timeline freaking
thing. It's Ancestry.
So Ken, you saying that was the original story?
The original story was like Kang was a descendant of Dr. Doom.
He was a descendant of Dr. Doom.
They was hitting that then. But in the 90s, that's when they start saying that they flipped the whole thing with Nathaniel Reed, saying that, hey, he was Kang, he was Ramatut, and he was doing all types of crazy stuff, and he had Reed Richards could have been Reed Richards is his son, and he could have been potentially Dr. Doom father, and they could have been the same one and all that crazy stuff. Those are types of crazy stuff.
Okay, man.
Yo, well, hey, first of all, thank you. But second of all, get on the link, my dude. God damn. Send that nigga the link.
Hey, Ken, you want to come on real quick, man?
You don't even have to show your face. You know what I'm saying?
Ken, you want to come on real quick and talk? Hey, Ken, you want to come on real quick and talk?
This is the behind the scenes of Blerd, or this is how it works.
Yeah. He remains.
Listen.
Gonna work out
right now. I can send you a link. I'll send you a link. You can come on. You ain't even got to show your face if you don't want to, but you can come on and talk.
I show my face.
All right. Well, I'll send you the link.
All right, cool. Be great to have.
It sounds like that he was confirming what what I was saying earlier, which is that he's not a variant, but just a distant relative. Which,
Is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. a variant?
Martin Luther King Jr. That's amazing, man. We need that. We need that movie so bad. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
I'm definitely here for the Jordan Peele version of Martin Luther King variant. I'm here for it, bro. Bring it on, bro. I'm with it.
I have a timeline that one day will multiple days. In multiple timelines and multiple variants and non-variants.
Come on,
we'll be able to exist in a timeline and never, ever as a variant, never to be pruned again.
I feel like Dr. Martin Luther King is absolutely got to be some cosplay. You got to cosplay as that, Z-Man. Next time you go to a con, man. That's it. That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just put on this, but just keep your face and hold the Bible where you and put on the suit and just have Jesse Jackson behind you.
Put that on and put a black suit on.
Yeah. Oh wow! Yo,
you got to take some pictures with Malcolm Professor X Malcolm Professor X and let's see who else.
Yes, is it Magneto? Yo, and I'm gonna be right behind you as the barbers in Coming to America. Like, oh, you lying? You know,
hilarious.
Yo, man, get old boy. Did you send him the link, Ty? Tell him to go ahead and pull on up. But here's another theory. Since we're leaping around in the Marvel universe, we did discuss briefly the possibility that in terms of variants, man, it's hard to see my little arrow button right now. In terms of variants, that this very well could have been a Kang variant himself or herself, right? So, I mean, I don't know if that makes much sense, but we were saying Yaz made the good point last week that she was a professor, because remember they did give us that portion of her timeline. They were like, yo, she's a professor. And we know that Kang said that he was also a professor. So this makes sense. She said, and Yaz also said, to her credit, she was like, yo, she didn't know who she was before. And there's so many different things that tie them together. So I think that Yaz may actually be on to something here with this.
Let me just go and brush my shoulders off.
I think that there's something there, man. And that would also explain why she was so secretive about the notion of the Kang variants.
Not even that, but she was like, I'm going to go and search for free will. Like, okay, bitch, get it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's room there for growth. So I'm really geeked up about whatever. Look, at this point, the only question I have for y'all, and hopefully Zoom-Man comes back, and maybe even Ty's Oracle comes back as well. But I'm curious as to what it is that we should expect. Where we should expect to see Kang now, because he's being built as such a monumental villain that I get the sense that Ant-Man and the Wasp sequel, the finale, the final trilogy, is not going to be a big enough movie to hold the villain that Kang represents. So do we see him now in the Young Avengers? Do we see him now in the multiverse as well? Do we see a development of the strength of Kang over the course of multiple movies, kind of like we did with Thanos, as opposed to, because the difference between this and Thanos is Thanos never gave us a monologue, right? Thanos was teased until finally he was revealed in Infinity War. I mean, he did appear at the end of a credit scene of Guardians of the Galaxy.
A couple times. Yeah,
but he never actually spoke at length until the very beginning of Infinity War. So this is different with Kang, which is, I'm glad is the case, because that means that we can't expect the same introduction to a major villain as we did with Kang, with Thanos. And ladies and gentlemen, want to welcome to Blerd Church, my man Ty's homie Ken Mozion. It looks like what's going on, homeboy? Welcome.
What up, Ken?
Hey, thank you for the love, and thank you for even having me even on. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for coming on short notice. We had to hit the 911 button and call on the back phone. to get Ken on this bit. And Ken, we just kind of broke down, bro. Thanks for joining us. And hopefully Zoo comes back. But we just talked about your revelation that Dr. Doom and Kang are actual distant relatives of sorts, as opposed to being variants. So if you could just expound on that. We were trying to listen to you on Ty's mobile, T-Mobile phone, but we couldn't really get everything. So just break it down for us real quick, homeboy.
Well, from what I understand, and I sent the link to you, Ty. I sent the link to you. You can see it fully, but they left out certain things, just little things. But I think it was Doom floating in space, and he ran into Ramatut. And originally, it was like, "Hey, we're the same," and it's like, "Hey, they both hated the Fantastic Four." We all know the origins of Mr. Fantastic and Dr. Doom.
Right.
And if you look at the link, it was like originally they were supposed to. Kang was supposed to be a descendant of Dr. Doom because,
Wait. Did you say Kang was a descendant of Dr. Doom?
He was supposed to be a descendant of Dr. Doom. But now that they have it, like the last Doom miniseries what they had, and it was good. Believe me, out of all the trash comics that's out now, I did like that because you always had this funny interaction between Doom and Kang anyway. And guess what? 10 years from now, that whole story is going to change anyway. But
yeah,
but they made it so that if you look at the link, he even says right now, it's Dr. Doom. Little do they dream how closely related I am to the greatest arch villain of all time. But there's no time for that now. And he's talking to the Avengers when it was on the Captain America, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and right now in the panel it doesn't have Quicksilver in it. But he said that then. So, they not flip and flop the origin so much. Because even in Secret Wars, when all the villains, so-called villains, they wanted Dr. Doom to lead them and all that, and he was like, Doom was like, no, this is great. What you think? All this and all that. Doom just blew them all the haze and all that, and the King was like, I am a future descendant. I'm gonna kill you anyway. So, yeah, it's in Secret Wars, and that happened the mid '80s, early '80s, and that was the original Secret Wars, and that was a good one.
But Ken, so you are because I keep hearing you say he's a descendant. Is he a descendant or a variant?
Right now, as it goes, it's that in that last Doom book that came hired by to do all his flies. So that's right now. That's how it stands as of now.
You broke up a little bit. We didn't hear the full answer. What was it?
No, they had the full answer was King was inspired by Dr. Doom to do all his conquering things and things of that nature. That's how it stands right now.
So he was an inspiration.
So Doom influenced Kang, not the other way around. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Right, because Kang didn't exist until early 31st century, right? Yeah. So and as like he was saying, as it was thought and it was kind of understood and generally accepted, he was a long time descendant of Reed Richards and Dr. Doom.
See, and they've been flip flopping with that because everybody loves a good hero villain, and Doom you don't get more. Well, I won't. No, hold on. I like Doom. First of all, let me. Doom is like, I will say he's an anti-hero, but look, you know what? Excuse my language, but fuck it. He's a monarch. He's that.
Yeah.
He beat the Beyonder, the Beyonders.
Oh shit!
This dude did it all. He ripped out Thanos, the backbone and skull and all that. gave it to him and all that. This dude did all. So when Doom was written like Doom could do anything. Period. I mean, he's smarter than Reed Richards. The Reed don't deal with mysticism. It befuddles him. As in Doom, he's the number 2 guy on planet Earth.
Yo, Ken, yes. I'm interested with your interest in Dr. Doom. First of all, it's a pleasure and it's refreshing as hell to hear you, you know what I'm saying, discuss these things at length. And we need this expertise. I'm a Doom fan as well, but mainly from Fantastic Four comics as a villain. But I will say that I am a little bit, I think me and Ty, Bad Ty, are on the same page when we say that we're two of the few people that did not hate the Fantastic Four remake with Michael B. Jordan in it. I mean, maybe not necessarily how they did the race bending, but I mean, I didn't hate that as well after watching it. But one thing that I loved the most about the Fantastic Four remake was the depiction of Doom, how ruthless he was, how intelligent he was, how overwhelmingly omniscient he was. And I think that that's one of the few things that was overseen because of the travesty of that movie not getting the good reviews that we wanted. So I'm curious to as you're a Doom fan, clearly, as to what your opinion of the Fantastic Four remake was in comparison to the first Fantastic Fours.
Well, Michael B. Jordan, he always act on par, bar none. I didn't think it was necessary because I think certain things are unnecessary. As a amateur wannabe writer myself, I don't want, like, if it's ever possible, I'll come like 200 years and somebody dig up any of my books and they change, they pilot swap or race swap or whatever in my character. I had to scratch my head, and didn't have to be a good, compelling story. I think that it was just whoever it was, Fox, they was just trying to get the money grab with that particular situation. That's it. I mean, Ben Grimm didn't even have no cover section, nothing like that. And I can understand that logic, but I'm like, wow. That's well, let's put it like this. When they did the Silver Surfer one, that one, I was like, well, they got Silver Surfer strapped down to a lab table. I'm like, okay, this is only entertainment. I mean, you know, this is entertainment. This is another variant, you know, universe. You know, because I had a friend, my friend Sean. He was like, "Nah, they take away. They using the source material." And I'm like, "Look, it's a whole nother. It's a multiverse out there." I thought about that way before the movies even came out. Before they even said it, you know, the books say that, you know, the movies is a variant universe itself before Loki. And I gotta admit, the last 2 Loki episodes was mind blowing. It was like those were movies on TV.
Yeah.
It was high scale, and the music to it make you feel like Loki is going to be a problem. He's going to be a good problem.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
Do you think that we are seeing the multiverse of madness now? Is this like is this already the multiverse of madness?
I think, to tell you the truth, like King, if we listen to Immortus King or The One Who Remains, there was one. He was just keeping it in check, and he was streamlining it. It's like you have different supermarkets, but you have all these franchise, and with this one spot, and they streamlining, and that's all you can go. You can only go to Food Line, or you can only go to whatever Pathmark or whatever. He was just streamlining everything. And like he said, he's like, look, I'm getting tired of this. But if you think I'm bad, wait to what's coming after me. He's like, he knew. He's like, wait to come after me. The way he worded everything, and you got to give credit to the writers. If you listen to the words, he let you know, look, when y'all going to kill me or I'm going to die, and the worst is going to come. I can't tell you how bad it's going to be. But, yeah. Well, I think it always was a multiverse. And I think they're really creeping in to the higher cosmic entities that's supposed to be in Marvel. If we look back at some of this I don't know, was it Doctor Strange or was it Endgames? Doctor Strange was supposed to meet the Living Tribunal, but they out because it was like the whole storyline get too congested and the movie was going too long for that. Oh yeah, that looked like Galactus head. I think I'm not sure. No, that's the Living Tribunal head. Yes, but it would get too convoluted, and then you have a lot of people that have a lot of Christian background, and you have on a cosmic entity that's based on Hinduism. It would kind of rub people the wrong way. So now that, and especially, I mean, you see it creeping here and there, especially when Strange was in Infinity War. He fought Thanos. He variants of him come out, see multiple arms and all that, things of that nature before he really start battling Thanos. I mean, you see a little bit here and there. Now you see the reports of Snake Eyes and Shang-Chi coming out, and they incorporate more Asian cultures without the bad tropes. And Marvel is trying to creep all those things in because I thought Ditko, he did a lot that reflects all the Asian culture object to and you can't just splash that into a Christian based background.
Okay. Well, that's definitely good info, man. I think that's a good place to actually start wrapping up with even more confusion than we started.
When you talk about King, look, I'll tell you this: what's more confusing when Kang met up with Adam Warlock when Jim's he was warned. He said something to the effect that he was warned not to mess around with Thanos. Period.
Ooh. Okay.
Before, so I hope they incorporate that somewhere in these movies that's going on, because he made it very defined clear with Adam Warlock that, hey, I've been warned not to mess with that dude. That dude is bad trouble. He got a bad heart. When you like, nah, he got that ill energy. I don't want that vibe.
that ill vibe, bus. And Tom, wasn't there Adam Warlock Easter egg?
Yes, Adam Warlock is
Guardians too.
Adam Warlock now is technically, will probably be, shown to the MCU at this point, because we did see the Easter egg in Guardians of the Galaxy at the end of it. He was the one that was in the tank. That was Adam Warlock. So we have caught a glimpse of him. And if anything, what it sounds like Ken is saying is the fact that Kang, this Kang, multiversal branch off is now opening the doors for people like Adam Warlock to come into the MCU and other villains. So we're, to answer your question from earlier, will we see Kang in a lot of the movies going forward in the MCU? We will see versions, more than likely, of all the versions of Kang, for at least probably the next 5 to 10 years, maybe.
And is it because, real quick before we wrap up, Ken and everybody, and yes, feel free to jump in. So I think you know something about this. Isn't this isn't the broken timeline, the smashing of the timeline, the destruction of Kang, of not Kang, but he who remains, and him now opening the doors to all his variants? Is that the reason why the Immortals finally? The Immortals,
the Eternals,
excuse me, the Eternals finally come in. That's what actually gets them to come from out of hiding, or puss ass niggas out there just waiting for it to happen. Isn't that why we finally get them to interact as opposed? I mean, because I'm seeing all these memes and all of these blurred groups are like, oh, well, where was y'all in New York, and where was y'all? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, the timeline was in place. It's like, now that the timeline has been completely smashed, now we got to come back out. So the Eternals are a little more time variant associated, as opposed to just chaos. Infinity Gem or Infinity Stones, whichever, depending on which world you come from, related, right, guys? Am I tripping on that theory?
I thought they were celestial beings. I thought, no, am I wrong?
Well, I mean, freaking, well, Thor is a celestial being. I mean, freaking everybody from Asgard's celestial.
Well, what I mean is they traverse universes. Is what I meant. What I mean. Celestial, just meaning that they traverse different universes. But
you gotta understand the Celestials. Now, that's a whole different three-parter. Period. I ain't even gonna get into that.
Mm-hmm.
They're making them like they were supposed to be a branch of humanity, you know that, but now they did different. The thing is, in the books, in the late 90s, the Forgotten One, Gilgamesh, and you know that he's connected to Cain. He's supposed to be one of Cain's. I forgot it. What is it? He was a Panonopolis, and he had a whole crew that he was a part of, and Cain came and killed him. Man, Cain killed the immortal. It's a bad dude, but and the whole theory about the Eternals, you gotta get that Neil Gaiman last miniseries of the Eternals, the Neil Gaiman, and explain why these guys are not around a whole lot. And Jack Kirby, when he was doing it, it's like, hey, here's the human race. They want to go and blow up each other and all this and all that. Then so be it. But when it comes to us, you know that we just steer them the right way. But the little one called Sprite, she did something that erased and made them humans and all this and all that. So it was like their whole minds had been mind wiped, just like they was going to do Odin and Thor and the Dark World. Now that was running in the books, and it seemed like they were going to do that in the movies. But overall, I wouldn't know. And plus, in the books, they really don't. Thanos don't really mess around with the Earth Eternals that much. He never do, because it's two different creators. Like when Jim Starlin created his Eternals, they was considered quote unquote secondhand, as in Kirby Eternals is like they're the prince and all that. But you know, everybody's a sticky fingers when it comes to that Kirby's main creation and all that. I'll leave it like that.
Okay. Well, I think that we have enough to fill our bellies for another week worth of Blerd. Honestly, I'm down to like 9% battery. I think the sun takes battery away from my laptop. So I think we should go ahead and wrap up. But I will say this, man. At the very least, we got a lot to look forward to. We still have yet to really completely unveil or unpack everything that Kang brings to the table. I mean, TJ, shout out to TJ Legacy and all that he's doing, and shout out to the Soapbox and to the Soapbox variants that he has as well. Like, spinoffs popping. But he brought up a good point in that that Ramona is one of Kang's love interests, perhaps, and that could be something to delve into. And a couple other interesting topics. But in terms of what to look forward to, I think that we at least have a few things to look forward to from the Marvel universe. As we were going to delve in a little more today, but we got a little sidetracked because we had so much other stuff to unpack, including the great show Mortel, which I will not stop singing the praises. So dope. But what if, of course?
Don't worry about Mortal. Don't worry about that. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna let him do that.
Y'all gonna let me get up here.
I ain't gonna let him do that.
11 o'clock. Breakfast stops me at the hotel, so I need to get breakfast before 10 o'clock. Before 11. But the What If saga, of course, starts August 11th or August, so we have that to look forward to for those who are in a show home.
We'll be together. We'll be together.
Oh yeah, we'll be at the same place. So we'll be at MegaCon during that.
The day after,
through the 15th, but I mean, we'll be there. We'll be there.
Well, the 11th is a Tuesday. It's a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And so we'll be able to watch that, and we may be able to do it live that day. Who knows? And also, as he just mentioned, Shang-Chi, which is a mouthful, will be dropping in September. So we'll be able to talk about that in the 10 Rings. And hopefully it's way better than Iron Fist was, which I don't see how anything could be worse than
Dude,
Iron Fist. frankly. And right,
the Abomination. What can be better than that? Wow.
Yeah, bringing Abomination back in Shang-Chi. Yes.
Yeah. I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it, man. But I think that's all we got, man. My laptop is sun drunk. It's pushing its own buttons at this point. I don't know what's on the screen right now because it literally, whatever, man. Tyrone, you may have to take over because it's my laptop. Oh no, okay, all right, we go. Anything on the way out? We know Yaz's bitch of the week was my man Sophie. And if you don't know who we talking about, go check out Mortel. And please chime in. Let me know if I'm crazy for liking this show or not. What if everybody else is wrong on the panel and I'm right? You never know. Joining us at the last minute, man. We got to get you on for a whole show one of these times, man. Extremely informative. Anybody with anything on the way out before we wrap up?
Check us out at 5 p.m. Eastern time for our Saturday ComicCon coverage on Comedy Hub, Facebook, Twitch, everything. YouTube. Yeah, we'll be on there 5 o'clock. See you guys then.
Okay.
Yes.
No problem.
Yes. You can catch Yaz on a toilet near you.
Wow. singing her melodies in bubbly town.
Yaz is muted.
Bubbly town.
Oh, probably for the best. She's probably gassed up over there, man. She's probably over there.
Y'all are so mean.
Come on, man. We like your brothers, man. We gotta do you right, man. It is what it is.
It's not my fault I got food poisoning.
Hey, well, ain't nobody tell you to eat that shit, whatever it is.
So good, though. It wasn't good. Yep.
Hope it was worth the bubble guts, homie, or whatever it is you got going on over there.
Coming through.
One time, shout out to Zoo Man, our very special guest. Thank you for your expertise and for bringing in your opinions. Is always welcome and providing insight and being one of the few that looked at Space Jam from a different perspective. I definitely respect that. I hate it when everybody's in agreement. Frankly, it's much better when we have. Tyleem, anything on the way out? Oh yeah, make sure y'all check out the Multiverse every Wednesday. They have been killing it. This week we got to see Ty's twin, aka his mom. Who sounds and looks almost exactly like they talk like they look alike. Sometimes they even dress alike. It's crazy. So yeah, y'all definitely check that out on the replay if you can. And everything that we're on is on Linktree, which is linktr.ee/New Blerd Order, and you can see all of our episodes. We're on Amazon. We're on Google Podcast, Stream, Spotify, all of the good stuff, YouTubes, and the whole works. I'm, of course, and YouTube, of course. Okay, I, of course, in the Real Vince Taylor, reporting live from Colombia, Cartagena, trying to be out here spreading the love of blerdiness amidst blerd church. So please, as I always say, keep everything.
Mitch, who is that dude behind you with the mud?
Oh, you seen how they turned me into Solomon Grundy? I was talking about Solomon Grundy, man.
Nah, I think he just want to touch you.
Yeah. He got a little touchy feely, man. I had to smack his hand away a little bit, man. If you got hurt, man, just see what happened when my daughters got in, man. I had to legit be like, yo, calm that shit down, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not. I don't know what you think this is, man. But y'all got to start paying me for these.
That Mario looking dude looked like he was enjoying that shit though. That's all I'm saying on that video. He was just laying in that tub in his big old belly and they were just rubbing on his legs and everything. He was just like smiling.
Okay, all right. I legit tried to repress that memory, but thanks for bringing it back to the forefront. Yes. But yeah, man, check us out, man. And look, one thing that's cool about us is all of the content we do is available right now. Go to our YouTube page. Every time we go live, it is saved for eternity on YouTube, at least as long as YouTube is free in the United States until it turns into a fascist society, which seems like it's approaching at this point. But be your authentic self. As always, if you ain't being yourself, you're being fake. And like I always say, no matter where you are, even in Colombia, make sure you always let that geek flag fly. Deuces.
Fighter 2, I just really hate. Dang if only Ken and Rock you, I find it hard to be. Blanca keep a wee ninja hanging and the uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity of yeah, them niggas over there. Yeah, now look at what I wear.
Perfect timing, guys.
Well done. Good wrap up.
That's it.
No, we're still live.
We're still live.
Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah. Okay. Should I hit the broadcast? Oh boy! Welcome to the